Hey guys, talk with Cyclone FPV, and we're actually going to try this live feed again. I moved back to this computer because I think the issue that we were having when we were doing the live feed at the beginning was related to the Mac. Okay, so I've tried to separate these screens. I'm going to actually move something real quickly, make sure that we've got our setup properly done, and that should be it. Okay, so it looks like our feed will be fine now. Sorry about that earlier though. Apparently there was a little glitch in there from the Mac. But anyways, what we were discussing was one of the guys, a guy named Justin King, and I told him, I said, look man, you've had your part, you've ran it on RDQ, blah 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 blah, but you didn't explain the whole story. And you know what? That's what I've been noticing about these folks is that they like to go to, they don't tell the full story, right? And I don't like to use people's names. I mean, usually when I do an RMA, I don't use anybody's names. I just say, and I try to do my best to hide it. But unfortunately, people like this guy, they want to get out there and just start smashing, right? They just want to start bashing everyone, and especially not telling the full story. So Justin, this video is for you. I promised you I was going to do it. You talk more crap today, and so now it's my turn to respond. So here's what we're going to do. And like I said, we started this earlier, but we were interrupted. Hey, Julio. Hey, guys, here we go. Yeah, we're going to go. We're going to knock right into it. So here's the story. Here's the backdrop behind this, okay? Let me go ahead and I'm going to switch over to computer screen real quickly. And now I'm on a PC now and not a Mac, and so I don't have dual screens on here. So everything's going to have to try to fit. So bear with me as I sort through this. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to switch over, and I'm going to start showing you. Here's the files I have on this guy, on this Justin King that I've put together this morning. The most important thing I want to point out is that we did do an RMA. We did a live RMA on this. Let me get rid of these replays here. So we did an RMA on this, and it's right here. And if you go to our content and you look up live RMA HDLRC Aero 3, this was done on it was done on April 11th. It was streamed live on YouTube and on Facebook. I decided instead of having to come back through here and pull this video, I've pulled the original video so I can access it faster, and that's right here. So if I scroll down, you will see that the video is sitting right here. Okay, this is the exact same video. Now, let's go back to what this guy was saying. Okay, so Justin went, and I put Adobe on here. Well, we're going to see if this works. So Justin went ahead and posted on Race Day Quads. Right, he went to their little forum, and of course, Race Day Quads is going to leave it up there because they're such fans of ours. But here goes. Okay. Okay, so I'm not sure. We all have haters. I was fresh in the game. Okay, so let me just keep going. So I try to read the comments at the same time. So this is what this guy writes. Okay, he posts this here, and then he also posts. Let me go to the other section here for you. Let's see. We're gonna go right to here, and we'll go to these two because these are the ones that really got my attention. They were sent to me by a couple viewers, and they're like, "Hey, I think you should know this." Okay, so here's what Justin does. Right, the first thing he does is he sends. I guess these two are the same. Let me make sure. One of two, and let's see what else we got. We'll go to this one here. Okay, so Justin writes his messages, and the first one. Let's go with this one here. I'll go ahead and make this full. So he says he's giving an update, right? And here's the deal. Here's what's happened. So Justin sends in his frame. Now I told you guys I had put the frame away, but I went ahead and pulled it back out. The guy wanted to ask me when I'm going to send it, and I wrote him back. I said I'm going to send it as soon as I'm done doing this video. So here's his frame first, okay? The biggest issue about this guy, the entire thing is that, and you can watch the video. It's posted online, so you get all the information here. This video, one of the things that I referenced was the fact that there are two severed screws here, right? These are the socket head screws, and there's two severed here into the arms, right? They bolt into these nuts right there, right? The flush mount right there. So these were both severed. Couldn't tell you how. I have an idea of how, which is that I think he over torqued them and broke them when he was screwing them in. But there's a couple things that we noted. First thing we noted is that Justin claims that this thing took a pounding in. It fell out of the sky for no reason that he knew of. Fell out of the sky from about 30 to 40 feet, pounded in, and broke. And so I looked, and I've inspected this. Now, anybody who's been flying, right? You do loops, stop, not anything wrong. I don't even know what this guy. I guess maybe this is Justin talking, guys. I have no idea who this guy is. But I'm gonna listen. I said I would come back out here so that if he was on, he could chat. So I'll let him chat, or whoever it may be can chat. I'm not gonna block anybody from talking a bunch of junk. That's what we're here for, because I want people to understand the crap that we go through as owners and as employees and workers when we deal with these entitled, lying, just deceitful customers. And I'm sorry, but you know what? You want to call me out? This is exactly what we're going to do. Is we're going to show exactly what happened. So this thing apparently pounded in from 30 to 40 feet into grass. Okay, into grass, right? Broke the motor, broke the heads off the screws, which I would like to add are on the same side that the, sorry, I'm holding this up, you can't see it, same side where the LiPo goes. So let's just say you have a LiPo. As a matter of fact, I have one sitting right here. Okay, this is a 3S850. So here it is right here, right? So this thing is strapped like this, which means that these never see the light of day anyway to the ground when it pounds in. Not to mention, he said, it pounded in upside down, just like that, okay? So, but somehow it severed the two heads here, okay? And I noted in the video, there was no tape, there was no zip ties on these arms as it comes from HGLRC, all right? When it comes from HGLRC, it's zip tie. I mentioned that to him, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And he said, well, I don't like zip ties. They're not as good as tape. So I taped them. Well, okay. There was no tape on here either. Review the video. Everything was gone that would show that this thing, at one point or another, most likely the motors had been taken off. But if that wasn't enough, then we went ahead and put the motors under the microscope, right? And we showed where you could see the screw marks of somebody trying to put the screw back in, and the motor wasn't lining up, and it marked. And it happens to be this motor right here, and this motor is also the one that has all this gunk on the coils. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so here's what the gunk looks like, just so we can be clear, Justin, because I think that you telling me that you telling all these people this stuff about me, I think it's fair to go ahead and just explain what happened. So let me show you what we looked at. All right, here it is. So look at the bottom, look at the coils. You see all this junk inside the coils here? Right? You see all that? That was there during the live video. Okay, let's keep looking. Look, see all that right there? All this stuff was in the live video, and we mentioned it. I made mention of it to him. What is this? Did you land in water? Did you land in something else? Because this isn't how the motors came. Here's the other three motors, by the way. Right? Now let me raise this up so you can see the coils. Okay? These are the other three motors on his quad. Right there. Let me focus. There you go. See how clean those are? See how clean that is? Very clean. No markings at all that the motor's been removed. Now, in this one, at this one, I want to show you. Now, I'm going to show you, forget the rest of the markings on here now because removing the bell. The markings that you'll see in the video that we made mention of are these right here. Let me see if I can get this to kind of, right here. These markings. These markings where the screw had been hitting the paint, as if somebody was trying to screw it back in. They're not on any, here's the rest of the motors. Look at the motors. All right. See if I can get that focused in properly. Let me raise this up. All right. These are the other three motors, look identical to this. Not a single marking on these motors at all. All right. From the factory, they have no markings because HGLRC knows how to screw in a motor. Okay. Here's another set of motors right here. And then there's a third one that's still attached. All right. So let's just get back to it. Okay. So we had the following story from him, right? We had that it pounded into grass, okay, from 30 feet, somehow had enough force to break the heads off the screws, but could not make a single mark on the carbon fiber. Not one mark. I mean, there's not a scratch, not the slightest scratch. There's not a dent. There's not delamination. There's nothing. There's nothing. And I do this for a living. I get wrecks from people. I wreck the hell out of quads. Y'all see my flying and our testing. So I know what it takes, right? And I know how little it takes to delaminate something or to ruin the carbon fiber. But the amount of force it takes to sever the head off a screw would leave a mark anywhere here. Unless you were tightening it and over-tightened it and broke the head, for example. Because it broke exactly in that spot. Now, that's the bottom. Justin did claim that it landed on the top. Okay, upside down, right? Well, here's the top. I mean, there. These are the top pieces. Again, there wasn't a single mark. Not a scratch, not a dent, not a ding. And these, if you're just wondering if I pulled new parts, you check the original video, it's the exact same parts. You'll see I made comment of the same thing. I made mention of the same thing, okay? It does. It looks like a brand new frame. And that's exactly one of the comments I said. It looks like a brand new frame because most likely it is a brand new frame. Because you know what people do nowadays? Now, I won't say Justin did this because I don't like to just, I'm not going to accuse him of doing something that I have no proof of. But let me tell you what I have seen people do. People will buy a drone, right? They'll screw it all up. Then they'll buy an identical drone. Then replace the parts and then call the company they just bought the drone from because the other one's outside of warranty. They'll be like, hey, it doesn't work. And they'll swap the parts. This thing is so new looking. I mean, completely new looking. Shows no sign of impact at all. I mean, nothing. Now, I will tell you, if you want to test the impact, I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to get it ready. I'm going to drop it from 200 feet, okay, onto grass. I'm going to see how many screw heads get severed. Now, he said from 30. I'll take it to 200. I'll take it as high as I can go in the airspace we're in, and I'll cut it. You've seen me do these tests before. I'll do one on here just to prove the point. I'll drop it from 30 just to prove the point that this is impossible, all right? But let's continue. Here's the camera. The camera, if it took a hit like this to sever the screws, there would be a mark. This camera looks brand new. I mean, brand new, okay? The problem is the motor. There's something about this motor that makes no sense. So let's review what Justin writes. Okay, let's go. So we're going to go to our website, and I'm going to share this screen with you. Here we go. So here's Justin's rant, right? His rant over here. Let me get my mouse to work. His rant over here is, yeah, I'll tell you what. Cyclone's lucky they're not out. That they are out of Texas. I have no idea what he's trying to say, but if I guessed on his language, it would be something like, man, they're lucky because I'd be right there. And Brett, look, let me tell you something. We've been threatened by everybody. That's what the entitled morons do. They like to just bully you, and I'm going to tell the whole world how much you suck. But listen, when I come out with a video like this, it's because people like you try to ruin people like us when all we're doing is trying to help you. And I'm going to show you how you lied. So get ready. So he says, lucky, and I don't know what he puts here, states away, won't even... what did he say? He won't even send my Arrow 3 back to me or answer any of my emails or calls. What a punk. You ready for this one? Let's go. Let's look at what I did send you, okay? And let's see how accurate your story really is. Now, let me see where I'm at. Here we go. Let's go ahead and open Adobe, and let's go right here. Here's your RMA, Justin, right? From me, the guy who you said didn't write you, right? Here goes. April 4th, you open this up. I bought the HCLRC 3 weeks ago. Fell out of the sky, will not turn on, okay? Great. That's April 4th. Ready? Let's go back. You write again. It's again. I mean, you repeat it because you open 2 tickets. So we combine them. April 5th. Here's Sam. She writes you back. Please just use 1 ticket because you're sending us multiples and we're trying to get these all organized. So on April 5th. And then at the same time, I turn around and I said, here's your RMA, bud. So I wrote you back. Sam wrote you back. Okay? Let's continue. Okay? So thank you so much. Very kind, right? April 7th, not sure what, you sent us a copy of, I think, the purchase proof, or the shipping, whatever. Is that the proof? Okay, this was for your batteries, and you were saying that they hadn't arrived yet, and we said they could be delayed. Okay, you combine that in the same ticket. Now, after the video on April 11th, I wrote you, because you wrote something in our video, and I wrote you back. And I said, okay, let's go. Here's the questions I wrote to you. Now this is me who you said won't return your email. Okay, so you're lying. I mean, you're lying. It sucks because I have to do this to prove that somebody like you, who touts being a 40-year-old grandfather, you wrote all this righteous stuff about you. Which, if nobody saw it, let's check it out real quick. Here's his righteous part, right? Let's go to this one because this one just blows my mind. Let's see if I can. Let's go here, right? So let's zoom in. This is where you're patting yourself on the back here, right? So to give you an update, I sent it to Cyclone FPV. My first mistake. Should have stuck with RDQ. Fine, whatever. He did a live of my drone and immediately was accusing me of lying. We're not going to worry about the spot. Then sends me an email that my story doesn't add up. Okay, now here's where I want you to pay attention. He accused me of soldering an XT30 connector. Okay, that's a lie. Keep track of that one because we're going to point that out too. So I didn't email you and I accused you of something, right? And then, and he accused me of tightening the 2 front arms. I said, you know what? That's what I think happened. Yep. And removing one of the motors. I asked you why there was no tape and no zip ties on there. Because that's when motors get removed and the screw marks show the motor was removed. Don't care who did it, whether it was you or somebody else. That stuff had been tampered with. But let's continue. I'm a 40-year-old grandpa. I don't lie. And the way I live my life is to help people before myself. This has deeply saddened my heart. But I have an amazing wife that told me to tell him to shove the drone where the sun don't shine, and we will get another one from the awesome people at RDQ. Whatever. Now let's go back to something real quick. Let's go back to when you said I didn't do anything. Here's my email to you. As you're aware, I've looked at the quad and something's not adding up. I need a bit more information, please. 1, was any work done on this quad? 2, how far was the fall? 3, what did it land on or in? 4, oh, it should have been water. Was there water around the area? Sorry, I didn't realize I had that wrong. Were any of the motors removed, solder work performed, or anything else done once you had it in your possession? Here's where he says I accused him of putting XT60 on. The thing is, the data is not supporting this claim that fell out of sky from 40 feet since 2 of the arm screw heads have been sheared off. This is not a grass impact. What is concerning is that there are 0 marks on the frame, blah, 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 blah. Also, can you please confirm with me if you changed the battery connection from XT60 to XT30? Now, Justin, you said I accused you. What you failed to mention was, why did I ask you that question? Because you wrote our support department on March 22nd, and you asked the following question. On the HDLRC Aero 3, can I replace the XT60 and put an XT30 since you're going to be running 4S? That was almost a month prior, 3 weeks prior to me doing this video. That's why I asked the question, but you didn't remember that. You didn't remember to tell people that, right? And the reason I asked that question, since you asked if you could do it, the reason I asked was, maybe you got the wrong quad. Maybe there was something wrong with this quad and I sent you one with an XT60 and it was supposed to have an XT30. So I'm just trying to understand. But you tell everybody I accused you of doing it. That's a lie. That's an outright lie. All right? And I don't like people that lie. Okay? So let's look at this way. You then come back and I ask you these questions because I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. And here's what goes on. You said you told me everything. You armed the drone 40 to 50 feet in the air, lost signal, fail-safe, dropped, whatever. As soon as it fail-safe, fell out of the sky before impacted. It shut off, ran sitting upside down in a grassy area. I fly in a field. And I didn't remove any of the motors. I did remove the zip ties on the arms because the tape works better, and it came with XT30. Okay, on your site it says XT80, but it's not true because it came with the one that's on it. Fine. Here's the picture you sent me. I can't blow this up right now. Here's a picture of the grassy field, right? All right. So you said you took the zip ties off because tape works better, but there was no tape on the arms, right? Look at the beginning of the video. There's no tape on the arms. But if you don't have the video in front of you, let me go ahead and do that for you. Here's the video. Here's our logo. It plays, it plays, it plays. I open your drone. There's no tape on any of these arms. There's nothing. Why would anybody take the tape off and the zip ties off if they weren't going to remove the motors? Why would the motor be scratched? This motor has scratch markings of a screw going into it if the motor wasn't being removed. Okay? Because you could remove one motor, you could remove 2 screws and that drone motor wouldn't even move. So it's not like you took the screw and said, oh wait, let me put it back. All right? The items on here are missing, which tells me you tried to do some work most likely. And most likely in doing so, you snapped the heads off the 2 front arms because you wanted to remove those. Realized, oh crap, now I'm stuck. I can't work on this frame. Let me try to get it RMA. Okay, but let's continue. Let's just keep going because I'm the bad guy and you're the honest grandpa, right? Cool. So you send it to me, right? Then you write this at, I don't remember what time, 1:30, I guess. Okay. At 3:32, you write me again, and at 4:05, here's what you write. You can just send my drone back. Taking my money elsewhere. You are very unprofessional. The minute you opened that box to set to prove I was lying. I'm not a punk kid. I told you exactly what happened to that drone. Fucking unbelievable. So, grandpa, righteous man, do for others, loving wife. Why are you cursing at me then? Why are you putting this email together acting like such an ass to me if you're such a good, righteous guy? When all I did was ask you to answer the questions at the top. Okay? But you got pissed off, right? So you know what I said? I'm done. I wash my hands of you. Finished. Not going to respond right now because you're cursing at me, and the one thing I'm trying to do is cut down the cursing. So I'm like, I'm not going to respond to this guy because I don't need to be talked to that way because I'm not your bitch. Okay? So here's what happens. Then you write me again. Here goes the part about being the grandpa, okay, I get it, right? And you know what I wrote you? This was actually a nice email. It was a nice response. I took some time to calm down. You obviously chilled out, and you wrote this to me, okay? And you said, what caused this much? I'll never send a drone back again, that's for sure. And I apologize for my last email. I was acting out of emotion, and I wish you all the best. So you wish me the best, and then you go talk crap on RDQ, right? You just blast us, right? Watch what I write, though. Here's what I write. Justin, first of all, when I do and I explain the process to you, I do not mention names. Solely intended to explain the RMA process and analysis of work, but to also inform others as to what we do in inspecting. I'm paraphrasing now. Each video makes sure to mention there's no insult to you, and that's in our description. We don't intend to insult anybody, and we don't mention your name, okay? Prior to sending me the email, I was composing a very detailed explanation I had. My explanation actually went so deep to show you how much force it would take to snap the head off a screw. I did everything until you cursed me. I was like, forget it. I'm not even going to waste my time, okay? It tells you I held off. Performing RMAs is something I enjoy, but it's not something that makes me a ton of friends along the way. People tend to see what's on the surface and do not have the time, means, or materials to dig deeper into the issue like I do. Without taking my time reviewing this properly, I stand to lose credibility with my customers and with the manufacturers who trust me to inspect their drones. At the end of the day, my goal is to make sure the end result is fair for all sides. I'm not attacking you personally, nor am I looking to cause issues that will cost me a customer. However, I cannot change my review simply because I risk losing a customer. Blah, 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 blah. I have no choice but to remain neutral and honest with my findings. And you wrote me back. I understand. But this would happen if you don't want to believe it or not, blah, blah. I never touch a thing, and I'll fix it myself. Fine. And here's what I put. And I reminded him of this. However, if you listen to the video, I stated that it would be up to RMA, the HGLRC. I wasn't going to approve it, but HGLRC still could, but you've decided to forego that. And you said, sounds good, okay? Then you wrote me if your drone is shipped back, and I said, Justin, I'll be sending it back to you once I respond to what you posted on RDQ. Now, I don't know if you're keeping count, okay? But let's just go back here to your other post, okay? Now, I don't know if you kept count, and I can always go back if somebody wants to challenge it, but I will tell you right now, and I'm not reading anybody's posts up here, okay? So I don't know what anybody else was responding to, but I will tell you this. You're saying I didn't respond to your emails. I just showed you where I responded to your emails, okay? You're saying I'm not going to send it back to you. I just told you when I'm going to send it back to you. But you decide to blast me on here, on Race Day Quads forum or whatever else, and you make this up. And then, if that's not enough, you decide to do this, right? After you post again, somebody I know responds to you, and here is what you do. You write this nonsense. Okay, let me get this up here, see if I can get this to open. Hopefully I'll get it to open. Hold on. Here, look, here it is. Now he's mad because of this post. He's going to make a live video on YouTube and call me more what a great guy. He's not, what? Put back together? I don't want it back. That's what you wrote me. You said I don't want it back, right? And you said there was a major defect. You were trying to use that CNHL, or not CNHL, that online video saying even that was crap. Actually, in that video, the 4S batteries tested all fine. And I even said in the video, under 1,000 milliamp were fine. Don't blame the batteries. This is you. This is all on you. But let's continue, okay? Burn your house down. First of all, these batteries aren't going to burn your house down. Stop being so dramatic. Let's try to bring back some honesty, okay? It didn't even work right out of the box. The Batman, now you're claiming the Batman didn't work and that you, a new guy to this, had to solder this stuff to get it to work. I don't believe it, but that's fine. Anybody can make a sense, but we all know what it does, that a drone dropped from the sky and broke, had no problem to send it in to get replaced. Have no deal with ego, manipulate, whatever. All right, so let's just get to it, okay? Let's just cut the crap and get to it. Here, at the end of the day, here's what happens. I didn't manipulate you. You lied. And you went ahead and you posted on Facebook because you thought you're going to get sympathy. Poor me. Oh, grandfather of 40 years old. Won't even get into that. 40-year-old grandfather, and my wife is lovely, and I help others, but you're going to lie about my company. Well, let me explain to you something. I'm a 46-year-old father of 3. I got an awesome wife, too. And I call bullshit when I see it. Okay? And if you don't like what I did on your video, then don't lie. Then don't make up stories. I don't care if you're a 40-year-old grandfather or an 80-year-old grandfather. Go watch the news. Age has no discrimination on liars, thieves, and cons, okay? What I do know is I got a frame that has no marks on it at all. I got 3 motors that have no marks on them at all, and I got 1 motor that looks like it's been dipped in some kind of fluid. I got a camera sitting here somewhere that I just showed you, has no marks on it at all, right here, okay? Yet you impacted so hard that you severed the heads of the screws, and you expected to get a replacement. That's not how it works, bud. You crash your drone, learn to fly better. Learn to check it better. Okay, that's part of this hobby. They crash. All of us know it. But most of us won't lie about it, trying to get something for free. All right? So, at the end of the day, bud, you posted your side. I posted the actual comments. I posted everything that you wrote me and I wrote you up until that point of this morning. Okay? You're a liar. Your posts prove it. And everybody else, okay, who flies, we'll do the math on it and we'll do the test flights, okay? And I'll tell you, I got guys that, man, when they come in here, I'll swap them parts. It doesn't cost me a thing to give you a brand new drone. I can tell HGRC it's bad. But what if you're one of these secret shopper guys that's testing with HGRC to see if I'm being honest? Why would I lie for you? So I can lose for my own family? Well, because you're some righteous guy? You're not righteous. You cursed at me first, you made up stories first, and then you try to play like you're some poor guy who's having a hard time, who wants to steal from me. I don't buy it. Okay? That's the end of this one, man. I'm done with you. You get your drone back in the pieces it's in. You take your business, you go to RDQ or anybody else. I don't care. There are some good companies out there. And I tell you what I'll say. Pyro, top notch. Surge, top notch. I'll always give him my vote. Much respect to that guy. RDQ, have nothing good to say about him or bad. I'm not going to mention Tyler. I've already done enough with him, and that's fine. But he does give you a podium to complain about me. That's his choice. And that podium allows you to lie, and you're full of it. Okay? But if you do want to go shop somewhere else, and you change your mind on RDQ, I wouldn't tell Sir to take your business. Now, he might. But God help anybody who takes your business if you're going to lie like this. To everybody else, guys, I'll tell you, I shoot it straight. Okay? I shoot it straight. I call it like I see it. And these little punks that get on here, these trolls that are like, I'm butthurt, so I want you to lose business. You're trying to take money out of me and my family because you're drone, because you're a little baby about your drone. What kind of righteous man does that? And they're not the only one. There's guys that do it all over the place. You little Walmart entitled, oh, I could go to Walmart and return it, or Amazon and return it. I'm going to dispute it. And you do it thinking you're a good person, and you're not. So I'll call you out. And maybe I'm lucky that you don't live in my state. I don't know. Whatever dumb threats you want to throw my way. Everybody knows where to find me. Okay? And like I told another guy once who said it, I was like, listen, don't worry about me. Worry about my 6-foot-tall wife that'll beat your ass up and down the minute you show up here. Okay? She's a big woman. She'll knock you out. She's taller than me. If you want to fight her, you go right ahead. But before I even get my troll, she's going to jump in first. Everybody else, guys, listen, y'all be safe. This is how I do it, okay? This is how I do it. And I've helped people a million times over. And I've helped people who have broken their stuff and been honest. And because they're honest, I help them. But when some guy tries to post and talk crap, you go ahead, Justin King, you 40-year-old grandfather who is so righteous and has an awesome wife. Maybe your wife can teach you how not to lie. Try to teach your grandchildren not to lie. Don't teach them what you're doing now. Everybody else, guys, God bless, be safe. I have more of these videos to do. So we're going to have some fun here. Till then, go spend time with your family, guys. You never know how much time you have left, so go make the most of it. Justin King, that goes for you too. Go spend time with your family. Stop making lies and griping, man. There's more out there in this world than drone. Be safe, guys. Peace.